At Hunter College, inside the Thomas Hunter Room, youth and students from all oppressed nationalities gathered for a panel discussion on the role of youth and students in people's liberation and the importance of international solidarity. The panel discussion was presented by Students for Justice in Palestine at Hunter College and Anakbayan, New York, co-sponsored by Students for a Democratic Society at Hunter College. Guest speakers from Revolutionary Student Coordinating Committee too.
Tonight was really kind of sort of inspiring in the sense that I was never really involved in student active. Like, I always sensed there was something wrong with our, CUNY system, but, when they explain the history, give us more kind of like a strategic guide of how we as students can mobilize and, be active in our campuses and, make work. And I feel like with tonight, with the information that I have learned, I can take that with me.
Throughout history, the youth and the students have been a vital force in taking up the responsibility in forming the unity of the broad masses of the people and the international solidarity between the oppressed against the oppressors.
The students play a major role because, especially in universities and in higher education, like educating the masses is like a very new concept. It's like, the idea of public education is something very new to society. And, in a sense, we get taught things, but then, it's not that hard for the youth who are very open to ideas to be like, yo, this is like messed up. Like, why is our education not working to better my, my community or my nation? And instead, I'm working to be like a wage laborer for like a multinational company. So, like the youth play the most important role in like one of the most important rules in society, because they're the first ones to bring into action. They're the first ones. They're in a very socialized area compared to workers. Compares are very alienated from each other. As in schools, it's all about talking and and bringing these ideas, to empower society for like the bourgeoisie. Like we're being used for that, but it's very easy to flip that.
When I entered the CUNY student movement, it was literally the day that I was arrested and beaten by the NYPD and the CUNY administration for protesting a war criminal, David Petraeus, because he symbolizes U.S. imperialism, which is when the U.S. decides that they can go to other countries, bomb them, kill their people, take their resources, use them as a resource for money and land and things like this. So I feel it was my duty to be there protesting David Petraeus. And when we believe in militant action, right? So not that we were violent, but we were militant. We were loud. We took the sidewalk, right? We didn't fall under the pressure of the NYPD. But when they saw that, when they felt threatened, that's when they attacked us, right? That's when they punched some of us, pushed us really hard. I was pushed and I fell on my head, and I was arrested, had to deal with court and the trial, right? This is repression from CUNY administration, right? They could have just been like, okay, these are just protesters, let's let them go. No, they wanted to keep us out of the movement, so they gave us a court day. Every month we had to go back and listen to lawyer jargon that we don't really understand.
For one thing, students are in a position where, they don't necessarily have the responsibility of, raising a family and things like that. Like, they have time to invest in really creating a movement. And they're also in institutions like schools where they can learn a lot about the struggles that are going on and that they're trying to solve, right? And on top of that, their students are also they're with peers who are not necessarily on either side of the conflict, and they're peers whom they can really relate to, and it's important to politicize people.